All right, we back. Hindsight. We just watched The Night House on HBO Max. Today's a very special holiday. We'll leave it at that. Thoughts? I thought it was good. A lot of twists and turns and directions. I thought it was solid.
Yeah, very good plot, twist, story direction was interesting. Not a bad horror, suspense type of film. Not at all. The Night House. Somewhat paranormal. It's a modern paranormal. Kind of, I would almost equate it to kind of like paranormal love, almost suspense film, in a weird way. So it has a sense of fear, but it also has a sense of odd romanticism and love, but kind of attached and woven, within this story.
Solid. It's pretty solid. Yeah, odd romanticism. I like that. That was a good way to put that. 'Cause I really didn't know what the hell was going on, but yeah, I think she felt some type of romance in her hunt of his, I guess his memory. Yeah, she's digging all through his shit, and I don't know. I feel like perhaps it was actually talking about like a mental illness, or maybe it was trying to describe like her fight with maybe the depression that she felt initially from her dying and coming back all that time ago. And she was depressed the whole time, and her depression caught on to him. And and that was the nothing, was them saying like, yeah, he got depressed because she was always depressed, and that was her journey trying to like, deal with it or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that was, I latched onto him. I was always trying to get to you, and I latched onto him. But it was weird that it was like he was killing people, but it was almost like maybe that was just metaphorical. And they, he was just cheating on her. You know what I mean? And he was catching bodies that way, but she was finding bodies like in the floor and shit. But he was just bringing bitches up there to fuck them in the lighthouse.
I mean, it was a lot of openness left and a lot of things to just be asked, a lot of little questions to be asked regarding the story. I feel like the story, they kind of set it up to where it kind of alluded to certain things about, the deceased husband, but it kind of didn't all the way tell you what it was. So a lot of the information wasn't really concrete.
For sure.
It was kind of based on just your opinion on kind of whatever little snippets they wanted to show you, which kind of wasn't even enough to just give you a full picture. They only gave you a partial picture.
Yeah, it very just, partial.
Just let you, enough room to assume, which is interesting. It's good, but to that effect, that was just another element they added, I feel.
Yeah, I thought it was good because it was so ambiguous to a certain extent. Where really I didn't know. I was trying to figure it out, and like even the little doll in the pose, like I couldn't even still figure that out. You know what I mean? That was never really explained. Like maybe it was even just like a sex fantasy or something that he had, and she in her mind was turning it into something else. Because you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that was all just in her head.
And sometimes I like when stories kind of explain things and don't leave them too open-ended. In this, it kind of didn't matter too much to the story, but it was.
Yeah, you still don't know what happened.
They could have explained a little bit more, and even at the end, they kind of just left it just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it could have been like her tripping.
Open-ended.
Yeah, it was too open-ended though. Maybe it could have been her tripping the entire time. Like it was literally just totally up for interpretation.
Too much room for assumption at the end.
Yeah, for sure. It didn't have like a close.
They want to give you a clear guiding direction with the story.
So yeah, I was half and half on that. But I did like it. I liked her journey. You know what I mean? It started out pretty dark from Jump Street. Like, bro's dead.
That was good.
But it was I like the twists and turns of it.
They lost me with just the touching and if it wasn't the husband or I don't want to spoil it too much, but
it don't matter, boy. We spoil it here.
It's just the way the story.
You're watching Hindsight, and you already seen the movie. and you just seeing the conversation.
They didn't really start it.
Or no.
They could have just. I feel the direction of that story, it started out so good that the story could have just went a better route to where, you know, it got into the ghost kind of touching her and caressing her.
And yeah, it was like it was changing the rules.
And then it wasn't him. And then you find out later on it's evil. And then she wakes up. It just.
It was a dream, but it was in her head.
It was a dream.
You know what I mean? It was in her head.
See, but it's too. Yeah.
And it's like there was a mirror world. It was like a mirror world inside of their heads, kind of thing.
It was a bunch of stuff, random stuff started happening to where it's just like, even if it was just like her husband, I thought it was just gonna be her husband at one point haunting her and just doing a bunch of sweet stuff for her. And while he was haunting her at first, and it started out scary. But
when he was playing the music and stuff, like,
maybe it was like,
it wasn't even playing that,
but I thought it was gonna be, at first it was gonna be scary, and then like they start having like a weird kind of romance, and like everybody starts to look at her like she's crazy because she's in love with her husband still, and they start.
He's dead.
And he's dead, but they're still doing a bunch of sweet shit, like from beyond the grave. He's calling her, doing, you know, look at over here. But then it turned into him being a murderer and having bodies in a basement. And,
yeah, it went different.
And she was touching him, but thought she was touching him, but it wasn't him. It was another ghost.
I thought it was gonna be like she would find him in another dimension or something. It was like a mirror world, and then it just totally went different. He was killing all these girls, but then he's like killing some, and I couldn't even tell like what was happening really. But it was still solid.
It would have made sense if it was like the ghost was one of the girls trying to show her what.
Yeah. That's what I thought we were gonna get when we saw
that, and it was like, oh, yeah, your husband was a fucking murderer.
But was he a murderer? Like, we never even got confirmation on that.
And that's what it was. It was just like you just had all this shit happen in this movie to not really give us a definitive answer.
Yeah, at all.
Or conclude the story.
And it just kept getting crazier and crazier and adding more layers. And then it's just like, was it literally just all in her head or what?
You left it too open-ended. You concluded the story, and I didn't even care enough now to. It's like you almost like you wanted to like. I wouldn't even care enough to see anything else to get any questions answered. So.
Yeah, literally it was a weird. I don't know. I say literally a lot, dude.
I would break this down to. This is gonna be out of 10.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Out of 100, however you want to break it down. I'll probably have to give it.
Drum roll, please.
If it was out of 10, yeah, I gotta give it like. I gotta give it like a 5.8. Straight up. Like, if shit wasn't all the way weak, like.
Well, that's a terrible rating, bro. I was easily gonna give it a 7. I was trying to see if I was going higher than 7. I was gonna see what you was thinking, but dang, bro, you just went all the way down.
The production value was nice.
It was like it was a well-made movie, but it just the story didn't give me what. Yeah, for sure.
Was just like, I'm gonna smack him in the face for wasting my time. It was just like,
it raised a lot of questions. Yeah. Throughout that movie, more and more questions kept getting asked. Every fucking 5 minutes, I have more questions.
And it was
never answered anything.
It just added to the story. It just added. They were trying to add plot twists. It was just like, okay, no, we're just going down.
So anything to the story.
So you just, added these.
They just added.
So you just added, like, this blood. Why was this blood on the floor at one point?
Layers of suspense for nothing. Like, you never found out.
So a ghost can track blood footprints on the floor?
That didn't even make sense. Okay, and that's why I feel like she was just dreaming. That's when she started to just get lost in her own head.
But I can't. It's too much of that. It was too much of even that. She's waking up. Anyway, yeah.
For sure.
That's why it's not getting no good score. Cause
man, well, I guess
straightforward, easy ass story. You could have made the story way easier.
it could have made it way easier, and it could have even ran with all that and just closed it up, saying either he was a killer or he was just cheating, and it was, you know what I mean? That's how she was internalizing it, or just something. But they literally did nothing.
I thought he was gonna be like a serial killer.
They absolutely did. I thought he would. I didn't think he would be. I couldn't tell, because it was almost like. No, I couldn't tell, man. I just wish they would have said what the fuck it was. It was fun in its own way because of all that, but it kind of wasn't. Because yeah, I wanted to understand the story, and maybe there are some clues if I was to really go back and watch it, but nah, it was just getting too wild. But I liked it. I did like the journey. The visuals were there. It was subtle with the like ghosty stuff. I guess I don't usually like when they go too ghosty and it's all just totally obvious, except for the one time when she was in the trippy house and she was sliding through the, you know what I mean? And like she was looking at the guy who was always like a shadowy kind of thing.
Good enough.
That was fun. Come on, that was like some labyrinthy kind of vibes.
Trash. 5.8.
Well, if I was giving it the 7, so we probably gonna land at like maybe a 6.5 or 6. There's gonna be somewhere in there. I usually try to keep it to the 0.5s. Dang, because it wasn't a bad movie. That's unfortunate. It had to get that rating. It just didn't really come with that closure.
But you said you would give it a what?
I was giving it a 7. So yeah, probably landed a 6 or 6.5. That's too bad. Had a lot of things going for it. I thought the main actress did a good job. Actually, was buying her performance, but they still just, the story didn't bring it back around. Yeah, well. All right, well.
So that means the average is what, 6.4?
We're not going that tight though. So
final
6.5. We don't do 0.4s and all that. We try to keep it out of that range.
The average.
No, hey. We do real math over here.
You
We don't do decimal
you said
math.
70.
7. Yeah, we don't go by school scores. We just round.
Yeah. So we do. So then, yeah, I mean that would be a 6. It's 6.4.
It said 0.5. We go to the 0.5.
He said the point. So 65 out of 100, or 6.5.
That's a D rating, but it was good, man. The movie was good. They just didn't. Some people will like that. I think there's gonna be a lot of people who like an ending like that. I'm just one of the people who likes to know what they were talking about. So, well, if that's it. It's hindsight. That was the Night House. Actually, maybe the title's trying to tell us something. You know, that was the house where he took them girls at night. Yeah, I think he was just cheating though. That is my final guess. What do you think? He was killing women or he was just cheating?
I think he was definitely killing women.
You think he was killing them?
We saw those bodies in the basement.
But I don't know if those were real bodies. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the part for me where I was like, is she finding out that he was cheating and this is how she's dealing?
Those were real bodies. I think he was catching bodies.
And I think that was the metaphor there, you know, was he was catching bodies, but he wasn't catching the bodies. Huh? Well, we may never know, unless he does a QA with the creator. That's somewhere on YouTube. But all right, y'all, for Hindsight on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. We out.